Success is about building a world that looks the way you want it to, nobody else. Whatever you think riches is, that's your definition. There's a survey that says riches and success is being happy. Well, all you have to do then is determine what is it that makes you happy and start down that path. Now, to find true success, I believe that you've got to do some work because it's not free. Everybody would love to wake up and just be happy and bubbly, but it requires some work. You got to get tunnel vision to reach your goal. You have to put blinders on and say, I'm laser beam focused on this. But know this, the road to success is always under construction. So just knowing when you strike out on your goal, you're going to have to get ready for flexibility because it's going to be detours, pitfalls, stop signs, men working, delays, detours going around. That has to be expected. Success is not a straight line. It's crooked, it's down in a valley, it's back up over a mountain. Everything I've ever done started with a fear. My walking out on stage, that starts with the fear. When I wrote my book, I was afraid. When they told me we wanted you to be a game show host, I'd never done that, I was afraid. When they said, we want you to do a talk show, I was afraid. I have to overcome fear all the time. But the best way for me to overcome fear is the dream has to be bigger than the fear. That's the only way you turn around and run at it. I just want something so great. I aim for stuff so big that the dream is bigger than the fear. Failure means you've now learned another valuable lesson that pushes you one step closer to success. I'm willing to bet that I have failed more times than anyone in this room because I have attempted so many things that you have no idea what I've attempted and failed in. But I don't let the failures define. You know, if you don't surround yourself with other dreamers, here's what I know. If 9 of your friends are broke, you're going to be the 10th one. That's it. If 7 of your friends smoke, you're going to be number 8. If you stay with that circle of friends, you've got to surround yourself with like-minded people. See, stop telling your big dreams to small-minded people. There is no self-made man. Now, most of us want to believe that we're independent, that if we set our minds to do something, simply, it can get done. Well, I got news for you. Unless you look to others, you can work twice as hard to get half as much. Sometimes you need a partner in a deal in order to aid you along the way. There is nothing wrong with asking for what you want. You know, most people that are successful, if you ask them for help, they'll give it to you. I'm talking about advice, principles, solutions, not money. See, one thing is never a good idea. Don't walk up to a wealthy person and just ask for money. You know how many times they done got that? But if you're interested in learning how to fish, a lot of people that teach you how to fish as opposed to giving you a fish sandwich. Because they know if they give you the fish sandwich, you're going to eat it, you're going to have to come back. Some people might not step up when you ask them for help. They might not. But guess what? The worst thing can happen to you if somebody refuses you. You didn't have it anyway. Well, what are you worrying about that for? Well, they might say no or they might turn me down. Ask people. You never know. Suppose they say yes. That could be the turning factor. Everybody can't say no. Never be afraid to reinvent yourself. My career, my entire career is a study in reinvention. You know, I started out as a comedian, that was it. I never planned on hosting a radio show, hosting a game show, or hosting a daytime talk show. I never did. Writing books, none of it. Making movies, none of it. Reinvention happens when you diversify your gift. There lies your greatest secret for success. You've got to discover your gift, and when you discover it, you got to soak it. You got to wring it out, man. You got to diversify it. Most of us only have one talent. But do you know that that's all you need? Mine happens to be to take information and immediately transfer it into other kinds of platforms. Now, when I was younger, I actually thought that I could only do that with comedy. But as I've gotten older, I discovered through diversification that it was a little bit more than that I could also take information, immediately transfer it into inspiration. I could turn it into motivation. I can offer it as guidance. So now, sitting on a talk show, I actually have something to talk about. All the failed marriages, I got something to talk about. The being homeless, I got something to talk about. Being dead broke, I got something to talk about. Having bad credit, tax problems, I got something to talk about. Whatever hole you've been in, I just about drug myself through it. But I came out of all of it because I was not afraid to diversify my gift. One of the other tricks for reinventing yourself is not letting your background become a limitation. If you take that background that you're from and never let it define you, but allow it to redefine you, all that stuff works for the good. Do you understand that you needed everything that's happened to happen to you in the exact order that it's happened in order for you to be the person that you are today? All that failing and getting over, you needed all of that. And your gift is the thing that you do the absolute best with the least amount of effort. For me, it was comedy. So once you identify it, then that's the beginning of it. But there's a lot of work to do even after you identify your gift. You know, you can believe you're something all you want, but if you don't work towards it, you're just sitting there, it's gonna be empty. What we all need to do on our path to success, we need to make a tape of ourselves. You gotta have an honest assessment of who you are. You gotta determine your strengths and weaknesses. You can't give your best if you don't know what your best is. You also need some outside perspective. If you listen to people that's close to you, that have your best interests outside, you can use these outside observers to gain knowledge to assess yourself. And when you reach out to get these outside opinions, be open, keep your emotions in check. But you can't say that, but just keep your emotions in check. Now from there, you're gonna have a good feel about what your strengths and weaknesses are, and you can work on them to build them. You talk about managing your strengths. I know one of my weak points in my personal life is I don't like technical stuff. So even though I have to be on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook, I don't care for that. So guess what? I find somebody who loves to do that. You know, I find somebody who has a strength where I will have a weakness, and I partner with them. All you're trying to do is get to the goal. No one gets there by themselves. Everybody needs help. Managing your strengths, knowing what they are, and don't let nobody talk you out of it. You must work on improving your weaknesses. After you improve your weaknesses, protect your vulnerabilities. Stop telling people what's wrong with you, because some people will take that information and use it to their advantage. Don't tell them.